Am I the a-hole refused to live with a service dog? I, 26, am own my own home. It's 5 bedrooms and way more space than I need. I came into the house due to a death in the family, and I've had it for about 2 years. I use 3 bedrooms, my room, my office, my video game room. The other 2 rooms I rent out. One roommate I don't know very well and keeps to himself. The other roommate is a friend from college. The friend from college is a diabetic. He has a CGM, and that's how he manages it. I honestly don't know much more about his condition and don't pry, as it's not my business. He recently informed me that he is getting a service dog that alerts for his diabetes. He's supposed to get the dog next week. I do not want to live with a dog. I don't like them. I told him he can break his lease for a new place, but he can't have the dog in my house. Until this, it has been overall smooth sailing as roommates. He's angry with me and supposedly looking into ways to make me accept the dog. He had a good situation at my house. He's told me I'm an a-hole for basically kicking him out because he is disabled. Am I the a-hole? The number of people who don't understand that FHA doesn't apply here because you live in the unit is honestly crazy to me. The only way FHA applies here is if you own 5 or more units. Otherwise, no, you do not need to accommodate the service dog because the unit is owner-occupied. Not the a-hole. This is just kind of an unfortunate scenario for you and your roommate. Ideally, you would be okay with living with the service dog, but what if you had allergies or some other condition preventing you from living with a dog? Anyway, I'd make sure to give him a reasonable amount of time to move out if it comes to that. It also wouldn't hurt to consult with a lawyer before doing anything. People need to brush up on FHA laws before immediately jumping the bandwagon. Anyone telling you you must accept a service dog is wrong. Because you own the house and are renting out rooms in the house, you are not a typical landlord. Here are exceptions. The FHAA does not apply to all landlords. Examples of where the FHAA does not apply are buildings with 4 or fewer units where the landlord lives in one of the units, private owners who do not own more than 3 single-family houses, do not use real estate brokers or agents, and do not use discriminatory advertisements. You are renting a room in your shared living situation. It does not make you an a-hole to not allow an animal in your home. Owner-occupied housing is not required to allow service animals. The FHAA does not apply to all landlords. Examples of where the FHAA does not apply are buildings with 4 or fewer units where the landlord lives in one of the units, private owners who do not own more than 3 single-family houses, do not use real estate brokers or agents, and do not use discriminatory advertisements. I also rent rooms in my house and already have a dog and a cat. Neither would do well with another animal added to the household. Next story. Am I the a-hole for asking my girlfriend to dress more sensibly on a walk? My girlfriend and I both 30 go on this trail by the river sometimes. It is about an hour each way, and most people are in casual or sporty clothes. The first few times we did it, she wore a maxi skirt and high heels, and I felt like it was really out of place. I told her after the last time that next time she should dress more sensibly. She claimed it was fine, but it is really out of place, and even if she won't admit it, she definitely struggles, particularly at the end of the trail where it is not paved. Everyone looks at her, and she even gets a few comments, especially about the shoes, so I wonder if she does it for attention. We went again recently, and she showed up in the same type of outfit. Long skirt, heels clicking on the ground, makeup done like we were going to dinner instead of a walk. I felt embarrassed walking next to her because everyone else was in athletic clothes, and she stood out. I reminded her that I had already asked her not to dress like that for this specific activity. She told me I was being controlling and that she can wear whatever she wants. I feel like she is deliberately ignoring what I said, but at the same time, I do not think it is unreasonable to expect her to fit the setting. Am I the a-hole for saying something? She's not ignoring you. She's just not obeying you. She's been on this walk before. She knows what the experience will be like in these clothes. She chooses to wear them. The pros outweigh the cons for her, and that's her choice. If she was getting hurt or making her clothing choices your problem by, say, taking your jacket to keep warm and leaving you cold, or asking you to carry her, then you'd have a place to say something. Even then, it wouldn't be, you must wear this. It would be, please wear or bring what you need because I will not be giving up my jacket/carrying you. Your issue is that you're embarrassed. You talk about what everyone else is wearing, how others are reacting. Find a way to get over it and love your GF for who she is, including her style choices. Or move on and let her find someone that likes her and doesn't find her embarrassing. You are the a-hole. People keep saying hike, but in his comment he says it's a pavement by a river. So an hour walk on a flat pavement by a scenic area, I'd call that a leisurely stroll. It doesn't require particular clothing attire. I've walked around my town for this duration in wedge heels. If they're comfortable, it's fine. Next story. Am I the a-hole for not letting my sister have my toddler's room? So bear with me here cause there's a lot of info and figuring out what's relevant is beyond me sometimes. I 33F and my husband 35N just bought a house. We worked our butts off over the past 3-ish years after a surprise pregnancy. We were financially okay, but you all know the housing market. So since my youngest was born, we have had to have the baby in our room because we only had a 2-bedroom and our oldest, now 12, needed his own space. We made it work, but we also did everything we could to get into a 3-bedroom as fast as possible. Cut to now, we have our 3-bedroom. We made a huge deal out of it to our youngest. To the point Big Brother helped design and decorate with us. It was an entire family effort. On to the drama, cause I wouldn't be here if there wasn't, right? My little sister, Mona 27F, just got out of a horribly abusive relationship and has been on my couch for 2 weeks. That's not a problem for us. I just warned her that I 100% would not make either of my boys give up their brand new rooms. Like for real, how much overtime and sacrifices we had to make to give them their own spaces? Well, guess what happened? Mona sat my husband and I down and asked if she could stay in our youngest room because he just runs for a room in the middle of the night anyway. I told her no, that was his room, and I reminded her of my one condition. She argued that he's a toddler, he doesn't need his own space. I snapped on her and told her it didn't matter if he needed his own space, I need my own space. I asked her how she would feel always sharing her space with tiny eyes, and it is my house. This straight devolved in a yelling match where I told her if she didn't like it, she could leave. She is now not talking to me, and I feel absolutely awful for her, but I worked hard to give my youngest that space. My husband thinks I took it a little too far and that I need to apologize because she's going through a hard time. Am I the a-hole? Not the a-hole so she's not talking to you, but is she still in your house? Because she shouldn't be. Not the a-hole. But I do have to ask, do you have a game plan on her getting out? Because if she's already trying to undermine your condition for staying to secure a room, she will never leave. While it's great that you opened your home to let her stay and get out of a bad situation, but she will drain you more than your 2 kids already do. Coming from someone that let their friends stay agreed on 6 months to get on their feet, turned into 4 hours and I lost my privacy and mind in my own home. Next story. Am I the a-hole for saying, I'm sorry to hear that? I 35M have been planning an outing with a group of friends for a while. We're all busy, so a wine tour, then dinner took some effort for scheduling. One of our friends, 30F, texted me the day before stating that she is ill and not feeling well, so she cannot attend. No real issue for the group as I ate the cost for her spot on the tour and prefixed dinner. I responded with, I'm sorry to hear that. No worries, get some rest and feel better soon. No response. Since then, she has ghosted me when I texted it asking if she feels better. According to mutual friends, she thought my message was callous. I currently assume she is just upset I didn't reschedule the whole event, but that seems unreasonable to me since it took months to plan. Has the saying changed and I am unaware of it? I'm so confused. We'll all be meeting again as a group. I hate walking on eggshells around a person but don't want to apologize for no reason either. Not the a-hole. That's a perfectly normal and thoughtful message to send someone if they are not feeling well. If she is difficult about it, then point out that you covered the cost of her not attending but haven't asked her to pay. I assume she hasn't offered to reimburse you, which says a lot about her. Opie replies, thank you for pointing that out. I didn't even think of that. Not the a-hole. From what you say here, you've done absolutely nothing wrong and have actually covered the cost for her. She should be thanking you. Opie replies,
Thanks.
That's what I was thinking. Next story. Am I the a-hole for telling my cousin the reason why our parents don't talk to each other? I 22M grew up with no contact whatsoever with my dad's brother and his wife. They were estranged before I was even born, and it was not like I had many chances to interact with them because they moved to the UK when I was little. But I did connect with my cousins on socials over the years, and we talked a few times. So I planned a trip to London with my girlfriend and got the chance to meet one of my cousins 21M in person. And we were out for drinks and we were having fun. But at some point he approached the subject of why my dad and his dad don't talk. And that's the first time I realized he really didn't know the reason. He was clueless. And the reason was, my dad had dated my cousin's mom before she dated his dad. So my dad felt betrayed when his own brother made a move on his ex. They weren't together anymore. They were young back then. I don't judge any of them for how they felt or behaved. I wasn't saying anything bad whatsoever about my uncle and his wife. I was just sharing what I knew. But my cousin got really shocked after I told the news and excused himself to go to the bathroom. And my girlfriend gave me an earful for even saying anything because she says it wasn't my place. We didn't talk about it for the rest of the night, but I texted him the next day asking if he was upset I said anything, and he told me I shouldn't have dropped a bomb like that when we were just meeting for the first time and both drunk. I said I only talked about it because he brought the subject up. What was I supposed to do? Theoretically, sure. The most ultra-sensitive thing to do would have been to tell him, hey, let's talk about that tomorrow when we're both sober. Realistically, though, anyone who's asking why two brothers haven't spoken in decades and expecting a light and cheery answer is a dodo, not the a-hole. It's been over 2 decades, and it was originally a dating relationship that broke off before your uncle made a move. I'm completely baffled at why it bothered your cousin so much. It's not like your dad was even in a relationship with his mom when his dad started a relationship with his mom. Next story. Am I the a-hole for telling my parents I will not be helping them with their rent? I 18F moved out of my parents' house a little while ago as soon as I could. To provide some context, my parents were both emotionally abusive and have wronged me many times in my life, including threatening to get rid of my dog, which I have a whole post on. Since I moved out, I've been working a job and paying rent for an apartment I share with my friend and have had enough money left to save up a bit to go to college in a few years. I am the youngest in the family, so after I moved out, no one was left at home. Both my siblings moved out as well. So their financial support from my brother paying them rent for his bedroom has been cut off. I am completely independent and have told my parents multiple times that I want nothing to do with them and even blocked their numbers completely. Earlier this week, my grandmother called me and explained that my parents desperately need money for rent and asked if I could spare money from my college savings, which I saved up on my own so far to help them. I outright refused and told my grandmother I would not be helping at all since every penny in my savings is gathered by me working hard and supporting myself. I love my grandmother and told her that if she needed help herself, I was willing to help but would not help with my parents. For this entire week, my aunt has been calling me repeatedly saying my parents really needed this and deserved it for raising me. My mom's side of the family threatened to cut me off if I didn't help, which is honestly so petty because I'm only 18 years old. They should be helping instead. I told my friend about it and she said that I was taking it too far and I should have helped. Now I'm wondering if I am TH. Update. So to start off, yes, I froze my card, LOL. I froze it the morning after I made this post and spoke to my bank about any bills being opened in my name. My friend helped me open a new account in a different bank as well. Many people also asked why I told people I had savings, and to that I say, I'm stupid. What happened was I had told my grandmother about it because I was sort of excited about standing on my own feet, but that seemed to backfire. Since then, I have stood my ground and have not given them any money. I did block my aunt as well, and I'm going to have minimal contact with my grandmother. I told them I had a car emergency and had to use the money, so I have nothing left to give, but I think they don't believe me. But overall, I will not be lending them any money, especially not from my savings. They deserve it for raising you. No. That's what is legally required. You have children, you raise them. They don't owe you for doing that. Your aunt and your mom's side are all welcome to contribute to the rent if they are so concerned. You? Save up for some therapy as well, and good luck. Not the a-hole. Never tell anyone you have money saved. This happens. And it really sucks they are trying to make you feel bad. Not the a-hole. Next story. Am I the a-hole for calling out my friend who pretends he dropped out of our Ivy League university? My friend 22M is a rising star in the startup world. He raised a significant round of venture capital money and has gone viral several times for his tech. He has also amassed a whole following of wannabe tech bros on LinkedIn and other spaces who admire him. The problem is him and his co-founder are both lying, calling themselves Ivy League dropouts when they actually graduated. They're bragging about how they didn't need college to succeed, comparing themselves to Mark Zuckerberg and Bill Gates, and influencing younger kids to drop out of school. In reality, they built their startup on the back on our school's generous resources. All of their early financial support and access to tech has come from our school's startup incubator and tech labs. And they did graduate. I walked across the stage with them in May and watched them get their diplomas. But now they're online bragging about how they're Ivy League dropouts because they took a semester off 2 years ago to focus on their startup. So I called them out on social media and said my friend is lying to his fans and promoting anti-education nonsense, when he actually built his whole startup off our college's resources. That ignited a whole social media crap storm of people arguing on my friend's page, and he's since been saying I'm just jealous of him and that it is inconsequential whether he dropped out or not. Am I the a-hole? Unfortunately, the hallmark of the privilege that usually gets you into an Ivy, denying the advantages you got to make it sound like you had to struggle, when there is no real struggle. Not the a-hole. I would dunk all over them, especially if they are leading others to drop out. I hope you guys like this video. If you did, make sure like, comment, share, and subscribe the channel our posts.